I think today's event has been a high opener for all the stakeholders. There has been a lot of information that is shared on both sides. For me, as a banker, I have gained a little bit more understanding of the value chain for the agricultural packaging that we've been talking about today. Some issues that I was worried about who owns the packaging, if you are bringing it from the farm, um, who gets what, and then how are the produce going to be exchanged between the owner of the plastic package and the owner of the goods. So I got a little bit enlightenment from there. And the vexed issue of funding and financing. I think this forum provides an opportunity for us to go and sit down again and address the issues that makes bankers uncomfortable with funding this packaging thing. More so where you expect the bank not to take any other collateral, you expect the funding to be at the single digit, and you expect a situation where the bank is funding something that we don't know whether how long it can be in use for. All those issues have been raised, and I think every stakeholder concerned has taken down for note what they need to go and address so that we can have a situation where we finance this agricultural packaging value chain from farm even to the markets. So that's my takeaway from this program today. But what I want you to understand is that some of these incentives are not run through bank. BOI runs them as independent because BOI also give loans. As you have heard from the BOI representative today, they can give loan, they can do leasing through their leasing company of Nigeria. So for banks may not necessarily run with those initiatives that the BOI representative have mentioned. However, there are other interventionist initiatives in terms of funding that actors across the agricultural value chain can assess, okay, based on mutual agreement between all the stakeholders. Like I was giving an example of the tractor finance now. All the stakeholders, the tractor operators, the tractor hiring association, NISAL, banks, we agreed on a workable framework that we can now fund. So we can, when we decide on the workable model, the workable framework that will be a win-win for every stakeholder, then we may now approach CBN and say, look, we want some of this single-digit intervention fund to be released to us, the bank, so that we can fund, you know, the owners and the hirers or the rental companies for this RPC. What do you call it now? The reusable plastic crates. So that is what we need to agree upon. Okay, the workable framework where everybody will be happy. It's not we against the bank. Everybody has to be, all hands have to be on deck. Like I was discussing with the market people, they were raising some issues that I didn't know that even James have tried to address. That okay, when they bring, you heard him saying that when they bring the plastic package to the market, what will happen? Will they sell the products with the plastic, or will they? So the other, I mean, the James person explained that you can either do any of the two. You can rent it to them, or if the market woman also have plastic package, you can exchange the plastic package that he or she has with your own. So that makes it work. You see, let's all be honest with ourselves. Until Nigeria became, in the last 1 or 2 years, serious about agriculture, many people they are not even aware of the linkage between packaging and agric. All this time we have been talking about pro-service loss, this and that. Many people were talking about processing. That if we process our tomato into paste, there will not be wastage and all of that. Nobody was thinking about packaging. That if you actually package these things well, the losses will be reduced. We might even get to a situation of surplus where we even have to export some of these things to neighboring countries that have that have shortage of, let's say, tomato, for example. So As a bank, we have not really have packaging industry approach us for this kind of agricultural value chain financing proposal that we are seeing now. The packaging industry in Nigeria has a huge role to play in the new kind of agriculture that is agricultural business that Nigeria is refocusing on. Because when you want to do agriculture as a business, every actor along the value chain is important. Packaging is key to reducing local waste, produce waste. Packaging is key to getting favorable image for our export. Because let me tell you, when you see apples come to Nigeria, the packaging alone attracts you. You have this plastic base in the carton, and the carton, you have places where it's covered and everything. The packaging alone gives you a feeling that this thing is healthy. Even when you don't know whether it is, what is it called now, genetically modified apple. Do you understand? So the packaging industry have to become more alive to the role they have to play in agricultural value chain, in reducing post-harvest losses, and in in improving the brand of agricultural produce exports in Nigeria.